Hey there, I'm Brittni Schroeder, and business and marketing are my jam. I'm here to walk you step by step through this crazy thing we call business. I'm a small town girl, chocolate eating, Diet Coke drinking mom, marketing guru, automation Jedi, and all around good time. This is your weekly dose of all things business and life, sprinkled with some fun. This is the Redefine Business Podcast. Welcome to another episode of Redefine Business Podcast. I am batching a bunch of podcasts because I am getting ready to go on vacation for spring break with my kids to Portugal tomorrow. So I have been doing some serious batching of podcasts, but I am pretty excited about this podcast. It gets me excited. So let's dive right in. I wanted to do a podcast on how to get booked as a podcast guest. I feel like I have a really good system between myself and my assistant. We have figured out just an amazing system on how to get on podcast. So I thought I would share some of that information here and hopefully help you with becoming a guest on podcast for your business to get your business exposure. So let's be honest, getting featured on podcast, it's one of the most underrated ways to grow your business because you're borrowing someone else's audience. You're building authority fast and you're creating long form content without having to host a show yourself. But just pitch to podcast is terrible advice if you don't have a system. You all know that I love me a system. Automations and systems, love language, love it. So let's fix that. Okay. Step one, create a media kit that makes you a yes. Before you pitch a single podcast, you need something that positions you as a no-brainer guest, and that's your media kit. So think of it as your highlight reel. It's clean, clear, and built to answer one question. Why should someone have you on their show? So here's what to include in that media kit. Your bio. You want to have a short and long version ready to go. Your short version should be 2 to 3 sentences and your long version should be 1 to 2 paragraphs. Make it relevant to the audience you're pitching to. Nobody cares about your life story. They care about what you can teach their listeners. So keep that in mind. The next thing you need to have in your media kit is your speaking topics. Be specific here. Skip vague topics like marketing tips. Instead, go with how to build a funnel that converts without posting daily, or the 3 automations every service-based business needs. From burnout to systems, scaling without working more hours. Be very specific. And you want to give 7 to 10 strong outcome-driven topics. This is key. This is so important because you want to be relevant to their listeners. The next thing you want to include in your media kit is features and collaborations. Have you been featured anywhere? Podcasts, blogs, summits, collaborations, list them all. Even if you're newer, include things like guest trainings or Instagram lives or workshops, membership teaching, whatever you have, just put it on there. Especially if you're new, just put something out there. You can always go back and update it. This builds credibility fast when it shows that you are out there and you're educating and you're speaking. Okay, the next thing you want to have on your media kit is your stats. This is where you show your reach and authority. Include things like your social media following, email list size, podcast downloads if you have one, website traffic if it's relevant. You don't need massive numbers, you just need clarity. So keep that in mind. I know that this can be a little bit intimidating for some people. Then the next thing you want to have on that media kit is contact info and links. Make it ridiculously easy to book you. Include things like your email address, your website, social media links, scheduling link. That's a huge bonus if you have a schedule me now or whatever. Sometimes they want to send you theirs. That's how I like to do it, but that's an option. You can always include it on your media kit. Another thing that you want to add to your media kit is headshots and linkable bio. This is where most people drop the ball. You want to have on your media kit 1 to 2 high quality headshots, and this can be a link. You can also have a Google Drive or a web page with downloadable assets. That's an easy way to do it. Or a copy and paste bio hosts can easily use. Make their life easy and you immediately will stand out. Okay, moving on to how to get on podcasts. Step 2, build a podcast outreach database. Now that you look legit, because you have your media kit, it's time to get organized because random pitches equals inconsistent results. We want to make sure that we have a way to track it. So create a simple database. I use Airtable because I love it. I use the free version. It's great. But you can also use something like Google Sheets. Whatever you have will work. So these are things that you want to track. The podcast name, host name, a topic or niche, their contact information, where you found them, the date you pitched, a follow-up date, and status, like, did you pitch? Is it booked? Declined? Whatever. So you can just kind of track and you're not like following up with people who've already declined you or you've already been on their podcast. So this turns your outreach into a system instead of just a guessing game. You want to be organized. Okay, step 3. Finding podcasts in your niche. So we have a media kit, we have a database. Now, how do we find these podcasts? So this is where most people overcomplicate things. You don't need a fancy strategy. You just need consistency. So start here. Search on the podcast platform. So you can use platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Search keywords your ideal client would type in. For example, online business or email marketing, mindset for entrepreneurs, small business growth. Try to search a bunch of different keywords, and then you can go down the rabbit hole and you can find shows, you can click on episodes, check guests, and then just find more shows. So it's pretty easy. It just takes time and you're just searching, right? Okay, another way that you can find podcasts is just a Google search. Search phrases like top podcast for whatever your niche is, or best, put in your industry podcast, or whatever your niche is, podcast guest submissions. You'll find a curated list you can pull from quickly. So that's another great way to find podcasts. And again, put all that information inside your database so you can track it. Look at people like you. So find others in your niche who are getting booked and then ask, where are they showing up? And those are warm leads. Or find people on social media that have the same ideal audience as you, but you're not in competition. And maybe say, hey, if you have a podcast, you can do a podcast swap, or just say hey, I'd love to be a guest on your podcast, and then you can go from there. Okay, moving on. Step 4, join communities looking for guests. There are entire communities dedicated to connecting hosts and guests. You just have to show up. So look for Facebook groups like podcast guest collaborations or podcast booking communities or entrepreneur networking groups. And you can search terms like podcast guest, be a guest expert, podcast interview. Hosts are actively posting in these groups saying, hey, I'm looking for a guest on X, Y, and Z topic, which means you're not cold pitching, you're responding to demand. But tons of these communities exist. You just have to be in them. Okay, step 5, other ways to find podcast opportunities. Let's expand your visibility a bit. You can look on Instagram, search podcast host, or put in your niche and put podcast. LinkedIn is great for more professional audiences. Your network, ask your audience or clients if they host or know someone who does. Email newsletters. Some hosts promote guest opportunities there, so you can join some email newsletter lists. Podcast directories and websites. Many shows have be a guest page, so just search for those. Also, don't underestimate just asking. If you love a podcast, reach out and just say, hey, I'd love to be a guest. It doesn't hurt. The worst thing they can say is no, right? All right, step 6, start reaching out without overthinking it. This is where momentum happens. Just keep your pitch simple. Who you are, what you teach, why it's relevant to their audience, a few topic ideas. That's it. No novels, no over-explaining, and please just personalize it. Don't copy and paste, don't chat GPT it, make it personal. I think that guests like it when you're very specific about who they are so they know it's not a copy and paste, right? So mention something specific about their show so they know that it isn't just a copy and paste. Step 7, follow up, because most people don't. This is your unfair advantage. Most people send one email and then they never follow up. You will, right? Promise me that you will follow up. Follow up 5 to 7 days later, keep it short and friendly. Half your bookings will come from the follow-up alone. You just have to follow up. That's why it's important to have a database where you can track when you contact them, just because that follow-up is so important. Okay, I want to add one more step in there, and this is a pro tip that turns listeners to leads. Let's talk about the part most people miss. And if you have been here for a while, you might know where this is going. I hope you know where it's going, but it's your email list, growing your email list, growing those funnels. So important. So getting on a podcast is great, but converting that audience, that's the real win. Always have a freebie ready. It's something simple like a checklist, a mini training, a template, a guide, whatever it may be. This becomes your call to action at the end of the episode. Instead of saying, hey, follow me on Instagram, you say, grab my free resource, whatever that may be at, and whatever the link is, or show notes or whatever. Now you're turning listeners into email subscribers, and you're building an audience that turns it into your own audience. So podcast guesting isn't about luck, it's about systems. So when you show up with a strong media kit, you track your outreach, consistently find aligned shows, pitch with clarity, and follow up like a pro, you stop hoping to get booked and you start expecting it. And the best part, every interview builds your authority, your network, and your visibility without you having to create more content from scratch. It's such a great way to grow your audience. So start messy, start simple, but just start. Just get a media kit and just start the outreach, because your next client might already be listening. So if you are ready to start, you are ready to be on podcasts and to expand your reach, and you want to get started, I have a media kit template inside my store, and I'll put that in the show notes so you can just grab that baby and just get started. It outlines everything that you need. So, all right, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you get on lots of podcasts. Until next time, I will see you later.
Let's not stop the party here. Head on over to my Instagram or Facebook group, Redefine Your Business, and let me know your thoughts about today's show. I will see you again, same time, same place, next week.